Hi there, we're back. It's the Homeschool Well podcast with Kim and Jenny.
Hello, welcome back.
And this is February of 2026. All month in February, you are going to be so super blessed by our conversations about, drumroll please, curriculum. And what do you do when the curriculum needs your help?
Yes.
Like it's painful or it's burdensome or you are not enjoying it. And we're telling you, mamas, you do not need to run out and buy something else. You might be able, it's very highly likely that you will be able to modify what you have to accommodate to your unique learner.
That's right.
And it's very exciting for us to do this because I've seen in one of the very first evaluations I did, I won't mention the curriculum, but it was huge. It was a huge box of things for kindergartners.
Mm.
And this poor mama, who is a very dear friend of mine, thought that she had to do every single thing and every single page. And when I told her, honey, no, please let yourself be delivered and just get outside the box and know that you do not have to do every single thing. And this was a box curriculum that schools would buy.
Mm.
And so Jenny and I know from being teachers, very rarely do you ever get through. I'm going to say 60% of what a curriculum package is.
Oh, yeah.
For sure, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So publishers always put extra things in there, bonus activities, hands-on things, whatever it is. So you just, when I told her that, there was this wave of relief. I mean, it went on and on. She was so pleased and delighted. And like, she always brings it up if I talk to her, if that situation like comes up. It was just a whole big mind shift for her. So we are here in February to shift your burdensome feelings about curriculum and help you learn how to modify it to fit, first of all, your teaching style and your kids' learning styles. Because we know how bad it can feel when something like you're feeling like, this should be working.
Yeah.
I read the reviews. I talked to my friends. They use it. What's wrong with me?
I bet 90% of the time what worked for my friends did not work for me in my homeschool. Yeah, when my kids were older, middle school or high school, we bought a history curriculum and I had heard great things about it. I thought it was going to be so good. It was an American history. It looked amazing. The table of contents looked amazing, but as soon as we got into it, it was the most boring thing we had ever done. So we didn't throw it away. We ended up just using the table of contents to drive our lessons, whatever the table of contents said. We were studying, I would just pull up stuff online or find a video or something to go with it about that topic instead of we did not use all the stinking worksheets and read all the boring lessons. We just ended up using it as a guide and went on and found other things on those topics.
And sometimes those history curriculums like that, they'll come with extensions like that. They'll have links of more media driven lessons, like you had to find them on your own, but you had their table of contents like a pacing guide or a syllabus.
We just got to use that
to make sure that you covered all the things that were supposed to be in that content, because high school too, you're getting a credit for that. You want to make sure,
right?
So that's actually very brilliant, is using the table of contents like that.
Yes.
And finding media online now is pretty easy.
For sure.
So that's a great example, and just normalizing the fact that if it's frustrating or you all are just like dragging your feet when you get to it, it doesn't have to be that way. If it's a mismatch with your kiddos or with you, it doesn't mean that you have failed. It doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with your kid. It just means that you're still learning and refining what you know about their learning styles and your teaching styles.
That's a good point.
And in the workshop coming up in February, we have a workshop for our community members. We're going to be talking more about learning styles and how to identify those in your children, and it really helps you pinpoint also your teaching style, like how you like to teach the best.
And then where
And
are you going to run your day and choose curriculum and everything based on those things?
be encouraged that really the more flexible you are, and the more that you feel like you are the master of your curriculum, it is not the master of you, that leads to better outcomes. I love that phrase. We didn't even talk about that beforehand, but that phrase, you are the master of your curriculum. It is not the master of you.
That is Kim's favorite phrase.
It is. I was told that by a veteran homeschool mom who had kids older than me, and I would go to her with my math woe stories. Math is not at the top of my teaching style, like favorite things to teach at all. And she was just like, girl, stop beating yourself up, fail forward, be flexible, know that you get to be the one who dictates what you're presenting to your child. You don't have, just like when you saw their table of contents for your history, you don't have to listen to that thing barking orders out from the page at you, right?
That's good.
You can tell it, oh no, friend, this is what we're going to do today.
That's right.
And this is how we're going to do it. And so honestly, the more that you fail forward, the more clarity you're going to have about your kids' learning style and your teaching style. What's the best way for you guys to go forward? And be easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat your kids up. I've been focused on Ephesians 4:30 through 32. But in a nutshell, it's about having kindness, compassion, and forgiveness, not just with other people. It starts in your own brain. Like, be kind to yourself, mama. Have some compassion with yourself. Like, forgive yourself that this little curriculum is taking such a big, spot in your mind space. You know what I mean? Like, don't let it take over, right?
It's really good. Because you can beat yourself up about it for sure and say, oh, I'm a failure. I'm a failure at this.
As you start comparing yourself to what's going on at public school, private school, other homeschools, and it's like, oh my gosh. But trust us, this happens all the time in every educational environment, everywhere.
It does.
It
just
doesn't
feels
matter.
bigger because you're the one in charge of your kids' education when you pull them out of school.
I want Jenny to pipe in on this. We didn't talk about this either, but sometimes when you had a class, this happened to me one year, and it was the craziest thing. I had this class of kids for like 2 years in a row, same kids, and we got a new student. This child totally, when I tell you, transformed, and it was in a negative way, the entire culture of my classroom and my day and what I could teach. I mean, it was the entire feeling for me of going to work was completely transformed by that one child coming to my class. Yeah, that happens all the time, right? And so obviously it's not going to be a child coming to your class, Mom, but it's going to be some part of some curriculum that thinks it can boss you around, and it can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like I was going to say. Just don't tell me what to do. I don't want to this curriculum, the history, the math, whatever it is, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want with this book or with these plans. So
you're going to learn from it, but it doesn't have to take you down. It doesn't have to take you down.
For sure.
Did you ever have a classroom like that though, where you got a new student and totally changed your world?
Even if I didn't get a new student, there were certain students where there would be one in the class that would really
challenge everybody.
Challenge everything I thought. And that's correct.
And so with all of that in mind, let's get some helpful tips out there for you. We're going to give you 3 applicable things that you can do when this curriculum doesn't fit. What do you do next? What's the first thing, Jenny?
Well, so first, start by identifying why the curriculum isn't working. In my history example, it wasn't working because history is supposed to be a story. And this was not a story. This was all written in a nonfiction, boring,
facts.
Yeah,
right?
fact way. It was terrible. And that is why that history curriculum did not work for us. Totally. because you want to hear a story of what happened to George Washington or Thomas Jefferson so that you can
I
remember
always
it.
say, yeah, like you want to be able to make a movie in your
Yeah.
mind. Yeah.
Right. So whatever it is, why it
Yeah.
isn't working. Yeah. So
Right.
for
What is
history,
the
it was
why?
that, for some math programs we've seen, they're too busy for little kids. You look at the page and there's just stuff everywhere and it can be very overwhelming. Whatever it is, see if you can figure out what's not working so that you can be mindful of that, from the future on.
Yeah, and if there's a real burdensome thing around it and it causes fights and everything, and it's very apparent to you and your children, you need to ask them. They're going to have some insight. What is it
Oh.
that we just hate about this
Mhm.
curriculum? What do you guys think? Like, what could make this better? Why is this so bothersome for
Mhm.
us? Yeah, they'll give you their insight for sure.
Yeah, it's helpful going forward when you know why things don't work. The second thing is to just change one thing at a time. You don't have to overhaul everything, you don't have to throw it all away. You can just tweak things first and just see, and again, ask your kid, what could make this better? Is it too many problems on this page? Fine, we'll just do the odds, or we will cover up the second part. Is it that it's not written well? Then we will pull in extra stories instead of reading the text in the book. You can just change one thing about it to see if that works before you have to throw the whole thing out and think you need to go buy something else.
There's another quick thing that happens all the time is if there's a lot of composing a written answer
Oh,
and right,
yes.
but if they have fine motor skill issues
Mm-hmm.
and it's history
Mm-hmm.
and it's a struggle for them to write more than one sentence, but they want to tell, they can compose a paragraph, but the pencil is getting in the way, then they can speak it into your iPhone or your iPad, or maybe your computer has the speech to text, and then it just comes out of their brain and onto the paper. That is a true composition.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay that they're not writing it down in pencil.
Yeah.
They're giving you a speech,
Mm-hmm.
right?
You can
And so
bypass.
take that element out of it that's making them unable to let their speech flow. Let them just talk into a device that will type it out for them.
That's so common. That is so common. We see that all the time, that a lot of kids, especially, it seems to be especially boys, just cannot get their thoughts on paper, and it just becomes a struggle. It makes everything terrible.
It slows it down,
Mm-hmm.
and
It's a good
they can
point.
really flow when they're just speaking, and that is an oral composition that counts.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're sitting there biting your nails and you have no idea how to use these tips and you have no idea how to modify, and it just scares you to like even think, I don't want to mess with the publisher's thing. They know what they're doing and I don't. Listen, it's okay. That's why we're here to help you. We're veterans. We've done this a zillion times and we've helped other people do it. So all you need to do is book a strategy session with us. And we have 3 different ways that you can do that. We have office hours every week for our community members. We have our community forum with direct messaging, and we have coaching. And the coaching sessions include follow-up, not just the live calls that we'll have with you. To get that support from us, go to the homeschoolwell.com/services. On our homepage, you'll see that tab at the top also, and you'll see all the details for all the ways that you can meet with us, and we will give you curriculum guidance. We do hope to see you soon, and in the meantime, we will see you next week with another new episode of the podcast.
Yes, we'll be talking more about how to modify your curriculum. Thanks for joining us today. Bye.
Bye-bye.